Hello, sorry about the setting. This is my first one of these, and apparently it's virtually impossible to get 30 minutes of silence whenever you live with other people. So I'm in my car. Anyways, this is the first video I'm making about all of this, hopefully the first of many. I will be reading an excerpt from my novella Simply Beautiful. From decent amount of the ways in, chapter 12. I say chapter because novellas technically aren't supposed to have chapters, but screw it, right? Okay, yeah, let's begin. Chapter 12. Where were you last night whenever I got in? I was sliding out of bed and she was surprisingly already awake and dressed. Well, I figured since you were going to go out and have fun, I should get to, too. She smiled. Fair enough. Want some breakfast? I'm getting ready to make pancakes. I walked into the bathroom and shouted my preferred number of them before showering. As we ate, we discussed the plans for the day. I was thinking we could go for a walk. It's supposed to be warm out today and fairly nice. Maybe go see a show later? Sounds like a plan. The day went well. Thankfully, she didn't want to do much talking while we walked. She simply enjoyed the fact we were spending time together, and I enjoyed the fact that I wasn't forced to make small talk. The thing that had been on my mind was what she was going to do with her free time since she was no longer in school. I knew that while I couldn't have the FBI poking around, it would be equally bad to have her not letting me have any free time. The show was some odd play I'd never heard of, but her friend Amanda was in it, so of course we went. It wasn't the worst play I've sat through. Something about a woman who was dying of cancer and her children trying to come to grips with her imminent death while she bravely walked towards it. Amanda did well, but I don't think she'll ever be famous. After the show, to congratulate her, we took her and another member of the play out for dinner to a nice Italian restaurant. We told them we were going to meet them there, as they had to put in an appearance at the cast party first. We ordered some appetizer, calamari. Then it was time for the small talk. So I'm thinking I'll just lounge around the apartment for a week or two, maybe even a month, just enjoy that I don't have anything to do. That's so decadent, I teased, as was appropriate. I can't believe you'd do such a thing. She smiled. I know, it's nothing bold or crazy, but honestly I'll just be glad I don't have to do so much schoolwork. Glad I decided to take some time off before finding a job. Yes, you decided. I certainly didn't suggest it. So it's fascinating to me when someone would take an idea and run with it and forget how it started in the first place. I know I'll get bored, though. I mean, if I clean every day, the apartment isn't that big, so I'm not sure what I'll do to fill the extra time. Well, any hobbies you always wanted to take up but never found time for? I know you like to read. There's bound to be some good bookstores nearby. I'm sure you could find one or two to keep your interest. Yeah, I could, but I'd get bored doing nothing but reading, too. I mean, how many textbooks did I have to climb through? I did always want to paint. I used to a bit when I was in high school, but just didn't have the time to really keep it up once I got into college. Well, there you go. Run by some craft stores tomorrow and see if you can find something to start in on again. I wouldn't mind you setting up an easel in the apartment. Just put something down so you don't get paint on the floor. I suppose I could start it up again. Not long after the painfully forced conversation, Amanda and the other actors showed up and we had a nice meal. There was more painful conversation as they told us every nuance of their performance that we failed to pick up. Weeks went by and it was nearly the same every day. I'd go to work and sometimes meet her for lunch. I'd come back and she'd be painting. I had to admit she was quite talented, and I contemplated trying to push her back into school for art, but decided I might save that for another time. Every now and then she'd go out with friends and I'd have time to find and stock a new specimen. I wasn't going to perform an alteration for a while, but it was nice to be able to prepare and study before I did. One day when I came home, she was particularly excited to see me and told me she'd had a few friends over during the day. This upset me. I'm a creature of habit, and change, especially change I'm not in control of, bothers me. But I suppose that's the way things go when you move in with someone. One of her friends is apparently big into the local art scene, and she loved one of her paintings and wanted to buy it and commission more. She was going to show me the one he'd bought. He'd be coming tomorrow to pick it up. I hadn't looked at all of her paintings, but most of what I'd seen I'd liked. They were odd, to say the least. Perhaps one of the reasons I liked them is they didn't really have a genre to them. You almost couldn't categorize them, and while that bothered me to an extent, it pleased me as well to see something that was, in essence, creating a new category. Much like I didn't fit in with the rest of society, her paintings didn't fit in. Promise you won't be mad when you see the one he bought. There was a genuine tone of confusion in my voice. Why would I be mad? Well, I haven't shown you this one. I wasn't sure how you'd react, so just please don't be mad. She looked at me with pleading eyes. I promise I won't be mad. She smiled and retrieved the painting. It was of me. My face was dark because the only light source in the painting was behind me, and it was red, a deep, rich red, just like the one she'd done my eyes in. I had a sort of twisted look on my face, and my mouth was curled up a bit in an almost smile. I was in a small, cold-looking room, and you could see a shadow on the wall of a person's hands thrown up in a defensive manner, shielding them from me. My face went white. My hands got cold and clammy. I started sweating. Did she know? If she knew, she would have called the cops or the feds. I wouldn't be standing here talking to her. I'd be in an interrogation room right now. Maybe they were on their way, though. Maybe they'd sent a team out to my farm and were gathering hard evidence before they arrested me. Maybe she was wearing a wire right now, and they were hoping I'd confess to her, or at least say something suspicious. I had to play it cool, remain calm, and see what she had said first. Well, you hate it, don't you? I stammered for a moment. No, I don't hate it. I just... Why would you paint me like that? She looked confused for a moment, glanced down at the painting, then back at me. Oh my God, it does look like you, doesn't it? I hadn't even noticed. Isn't that funny what our subconscious does to us? I was a little shocked. She hadn't noticed? It was almost a dead ringer for me. I suppose, but still, Cheryl, that does look a lot like me. And what am I doing? And, well, what the hell am I doing? Oh, I don't know. I watched a scary movie that day and I started on it. I'm sure it was just some images routing around in my head and they joined up with you and voila. Don't be so silly, Edward. It might look like you, but it's not you. You can never hurt someone or do anything like that. If you really don't like it, I can make sure he doesn't display it anywhere public, and I don't have to do the other ones he wanted. He wants more like this. The gallery whose owner he knows is big into the creepy sort of art, so he thought I could sell more to him. It's okay, Cheryl. I was just taken aback by it. It's a great piece. If you can do more and sell it, then do it. If it makes you happy, go for it. My smile punctuated the sentence, and she put the painting down and hugged me and thanked me. I just hoped her subconscious wasn't slowly figuring everything out. I didn't know how it could. I didn't think I'd left enough clues around for it to pick up on. But you can never underestimate a woman's intuition. If you want to know more what happens, then check out the link or links at the bottom of the page to either the Facebook fiction group where almost all the rest of my work is up for free, and the Patreon account that I've set up where so far there's only another novella of mine called Blood and Lilacs, but I should be putting up more soon. And through Patreon, if you feel like I deserve any monetary rewards for what I've done, then you can give it, and if not, that's fine too. It's still free on there as well. So hope you enjoyed, and read more. Bye.